I think it starts on the defensive end of grabbing rebounds. They got a ton of high IQ basketball players over there, and when you make mistakes, they make you pay for them. So not running the right stuff offensively, bad turnovers, along with giving up offensive rebounds, that usually leads to kick-out threes for them. So it's on the defensive end. Like, you score 117 points, that should be enough to win a game. So just what we keep talking about, just getting stops.
Rick's talked about that too, the defense during this current skid you guys are in. What do you feel like you need to do better? Because it feels like some of the focus has been on that in practices, walkthrough, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think if I had the answer, I think we'd have it figured out by now. But I think there's a ton of different things. I don't want to come up here and say effort or anything because I know guys are out there playing hard. I think it's more of thinking the game more. I think it's more of an attention to detail stuff. Teams it's the NBA. Teams scout differently. They see us guarding one way, so they're going to attack it. And once that's been defeated, you got to figure out the other way to guard it. And our attention to detail just hasn't been there, as we've been on this skid. So we just got to pick that up.
Ben, how have you noticed teams defend you differently as this season has progressed?
Pretty much just putting a better defender on me. I don't get as many shots, as I was getting beginning of the season. So that's pretty much it, to be honest.
The way George and Jordan were able to fit in and show what they could do for you guys today?
It was great. I feel like they come from a great place, and having George here back as a vet, it's a great thing. And having Jordan too, he came in the game, he had great minutes on offense and defense. So I feel like it was great having him on the court.
Tyrese, what's kind of the trade-off in a game like this where they obviously go so big and you guys were able to attack them? And it seemed like obviously it set you up really well in the second half for ISOs and stuff like that. But what's just the back and forth on that when they've got so much size, but you guys have some speed on them?
I think it's interesting because it tends to be the team who dictates the pace, and it's outscoring the other. That will determine how teams play. So they obviously start big with 3 bigs. We start with 4 smalls, 4 guards. So it was interesting because it just like if they were good jumping out to a big lead, we might have had to go big, or if we were jumping out to a big lead, they might have had to go small. But it seemed like we were just trading buckets, so nobody ever had to really change what they were doing. So. I think it's that they bring an interesting dynamic because they can run, 4 guards with a big, or they have 2 bigs, but Laurie's coming. He's the 3 now. He's transitioned to being a 3 in the NBA, and Kelly's so skilled playing the 4, and you have him at the 5. So now you really have 5 skilled guys out there. So it's not necessarily a traditional big on the floor for them. When they take Walker out and roll with Kelly and Laurie at the big spot. So just an interesting dynamic for sure.
Does the amount of attention you have to give those 2 guys, does that explain a lot of why Jordan in particular was able to get open and get some threes, that you guys had to put some bodies down there so they don't beat you up?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, down the stretch of, guys just, there was some high-level shot making down the stretch. I thought Jordan made some tough shots down the end there. They got to the free throw line. I think that started that fourth, really hurt us. But I think they attacked us in different ways. Obviously, Laurie and Jordan both had good games. So I don't know what it was specifically. I got to watch film, but they did a good job of getting their guys going.
We obviously talked to you on Friday, and you talked about wanting to make sure that you're taking more shots. Obviously, you go out and get 24 tonight, and it seems like obviously in the third, and especially in the third and the fourth, you were looking for every ISO situation you could get and get into the rim that way. I guess how have you changed it all the way you're looking for shots? Is there a different way that you're thinking in second halves now of just making sure that you're putting yourselves in those opportunities that you can go get buckets that way?
Yeah, we just keep talking about it. It's trying to find that balance between being aggressive and getting guys involved and what's best for the team at that point in time. When this guy's got it going, I'm trying to run stuff for him to get the ball. When I have it going, I got to, find ways to get myself shots. And, coach lets me dictate a lot of the sets that we run. So trying to think of it that way. And, sometimes there's been games since I've came back where shot 7, 8, 9 shots. Like, that's selfish by not shooting enough. We talked about it, kind of trading that off. So just whatever the team needs at the time. I thought today there were some favorable matchups for me, and was able to get it going, and guys were finding me. So I think just credit to my teammates.
Tyrese, as they try to rebuild this thing up, a lot of teams have a different strategy, whereas they don't have as many veterans maybe. You guys do with Daniel, with George, with James, and you guys are really insulated with a lot of veterans. How beneficial, and where specifically maybe will you see that pay off down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben alluded to it earlier. Adding George, another vet presence, a guy who is more than paid his dues in the NBA, and especially here in Indiana, and understands what it takes to win here. And I think you go back. To be honest, I think it has a lot to do with James for me. I guess like my big brother, we spent a lot of time together. I think we're really close, and having a guy like that in my ear all the time is important because he just, was on me to stay aggressive, on me to help lead. So, having guys like James and high IQ guys, George and Chris and Miles, and just some guys who, spent some time in the league, played high-level basketball, it's just good to play with them.
You guys both had a really nice play in the fourth quarter where you looked off two defenders and then got it to Ben cutting through for a nice dunk. Could you guys break down that play for us?
What's that? Quit. Pretty much. I seen Tyrese. Tyrese. I love playing with Tyrese. When he came down, went baseline. I knew he saw me, so I just decided to cut. He passed me the ball, and then I dunked.
We got beat one-on-one in a lot of situations. I haven't looked at that stretch yet, but the irony was, we made a really good play, I think, to start the fourth quarter where TJ steals the ball and scores, and then they turn around and run it back up and get a three-point play. I mean, and so in that situation, we've got to get back and resist the temptation to get over aggressive and get beat for a three, for an and one. So, that kind of got things going a bit the wrong way. They have some guys that can really attack matchups. They got Markkanen with his size and strength. Clarkson had a great game. Sexton is, he attacks vertically, and he's a difficult guy to keep in front. And, Tucker did a good job too. So we've just got to really continue to work at, guarding our guy at the point of attack. If they force a switch, then we've got to guard that guy at the point of attack, and it's a battle. It's a battle, and there's a lot of this stuff. It's just hard to scheme for. Within the system, you've got to hold off the other guy in that battle. So it's tough, but for the most part in this game, I like the tone of how we were competing. We didn't always play great, but our intentions were good. And when we were getting beat in the fourth, we were trying. It's just a question of we've just got to try a little better, and we've got to coach a little better, and we just got to keep working on it.
When you work on, guarding your yard or individual defense stuff, is it more about being better at literally that, containing the guy in front of you, or is it kind of more of the mitigation if that guy does beat you and recovering and helping, things like that?
Well, everybody in the league works on cycle of help, which is what happens when someone gets beat. And inevitably and invariably, you're going to get beat, in the NBA at times. The best defensive teams are the teams that can hold the fort on those individual matchups on the perimeter, because if your defense can stay out of rotation, you have a greater chance to protect the rim and to not give up the easy catch and shoot threes, which everybody wants. So, we just got to keep working at it. It's a process. We're young. There's no excuses. We just got to keep working and getting better.
What did you see from George and Jordan in their debuts today?
Well, with George Hill, we know we have a proven veteran winning player. I don't know how much he's going to play, but tonight was proof positive that he's ready. But he's a great example for our young guys, and he is living proof that a contending team can be built in Indiana. He was a part of it, and so I think that is very important. I wanted to get him into the action tonight. I thought he did a solid job. Nwora's a guy that can shoot the ball and score, and I thought he did some good things defensively. I'll look at it closer as I look at the entire game, but he's got a great opportunity here to show what he can do, and we're looking forward to working with him.
We talked to Tyrese on Friday, and he talked a lot about not liking seeing when he was only taking single-digit shots, just feeling like he was actually being selfish by not taking more, and obviously goes out and gets 24 tonight and was really attacking a lot of the Friday night here. Suns? Yeah, I don't know. I think the last time we talked to Tyrese, I can't remember. They're starting to run together.
Look, he's got the ball.
Yeah.
And he's making the majority of the calls. And night like tonight when we need scoring, and Buddy's not having a hot game, Ty's proven that he can take the reins and he can carry an offensive load. And he's just got to decide when that's the right thing to do. Tonight it was the right thing to do.
Has it taken a second to get sort of his full rhythm back? I mean, it seems like physically it hasn't been a problem, but to kind of get a full, I don't know, kind of game plan or set sort of attack plan to get back to kind of the mindset, I guess, that he had before he got injured.
Yeah, I thought he played really well the first game back against the Lakers. He had a pretty pronounced elbow thing on that had, I think, some metal protection, so it wouldn't fully extend. I think he's onto a softer brace now. But I thought he got back into it well. I mean, if you're talking about nights like these, his job is to figure out what's needed. He could go out and get 30, I think, in probably the majority of the games if he wanted to. But would that be the right thing for the team? And he would tell you, no, it wouldn't be. But tonight we needed him to get aggressive, and he did, and it gave us a chance in the fourth quarter. We just, all of us needed to be doing a better job defensively on the individual matchups and the switches when they created, the more difficult matchups.
Well, with Daniel, with Miles out, what went into that decision, and how have you kind of been deciding when to go with, the veteran experienced Daniel versus Isaiah and getting some development time out there?
I mean, Isaiah played 26 minutes, and Tice played 21. I don't know. What's the problem? I think experience against a rim protector like Kessler. Daniel's got more experience, and I knew Isaiah was going to get plenty of minutes, and so and a veteran player, I think in this situation has a better chance coming out of warm-ups to play his best. And Isaiah, he's like a Ferrari. I mean, he just turned the key and he's going. So. Yeah, I mean that was it. I thought both those guys did some great things. I thought they did.
I felt like it was decent. I feel like obviously first game out there, learning in terms of just being in positions, being in the right spot. But I think overall it was good. Obviously, you want to always come out with a win, but it happens. Everybody fought. And we gave ourselves a chance to win, just didn't go our way tonight.
Anything you were trying to focus on between fitting in, showing what you can do, things like that, or just let the game come to you? How did that go for you?
I feel like I was trying to let it come to me more. I think at the end of the day I was trying to play hard on defense. I'm somebody who I can score the ball. I just need to be locked in on defense, and the offense is going to come, especially with learning the system, stuff like that. And I'm sure how good here.
What's just the crash course like of trying to figure it out in the last? I mean, what was that like over the weekend, trying to figure out where you're supposed to be and what the plays are and what the defense is?
I've spent a lot of time in the gym the past day and a half or so. So it's been a lot. Flooding me with information, but it's good as part of the process, part of being the pro, and I just have to do it.
You had the one steal on the double down, which kind of happened on that play. You kind of went around Marquine and took the ball off, and just what kind of went into that.
I feel like at that point, just instincts kicked in, and here I guess there's more of a freedom to do that and make those plays, whereas in Milwaukee it was all about staying solid. But when you can do that and make plays like that happen, You get the crowd into it, big plays, and, hopefully, go on runs. We had a little run around the time that happened.
What do you think about just these guys playing with them and stuff like that? I mean, your first sort of read of how this group operates together.
It was great playing with them. The ball's moving around. Everybody's getting touches a lot faster than, obviously where I came from. The pace is a lot faster, but I love it, man. Like I said, I think it's going to be really, really good for me.
First impressions of Tyrese Haliburton?
He's special, man. He can score, pass, incredible passer, and team player, and he's just a great guy.
How do you think a situation like this where the long term, the development is the focus instead of the winning will help someone like you specifically?
I think it will help me tremendously. I think I'll really be able to blossom and come into myself here, especially given opportunities. I didn't get very many over where I was before, and now hopefully I'll get that chance. Like I said, just playing hard on defense, and then the offense will come. I've always been somebody who could score the goal.
It was a lot of effort today on the defensive side of the ball, and we were great in the first half, and we slipped a little bit, especially in the third. Gave up a 30-point quarter, and that's something that we talk about, making sure we give up our 30-point quarter. So take that one away, we would have been in pretty good shape.
Obviously, the threes ended up being an issue. How did you see that happen in terms of just guys being able to slip open, Clarkson in particular?
He got hot in the third, and he made some tough threes. And we just didn't pay attention to detail on some of our switches, and we were leaving hot guys open with short closeouts.
What's how difficult of a matchup are these guys in particular? Because you don't see a lot of lineups that look like this right now.
Yeah.
For having three guys that are 6'10" and whatnot.
Yeah.
What makes them a weird matchup considering?
Tough to have, guys over 6'10" who can shoot the ball. So it's tough to be able to screen, pick and pop, and force guys to make those hard closeouts on those guys that are that big.
No, we talked a bunch about this throughout the course of the year and the matchups that you've had and the learning that you've done in these situations. I mean, what's it been like lately? It does seem like you've been frustrated by some of the calls you end up getting, and what's been the learning process like recently for you? What do you feel like you've learned more? Would have been, I guess, some of the roadblocks.
I would say definitely still fouling and staying out of foul trouble and keeping my hands back. And, I feel like I got to overemphasize keeping my hands out of the plays because now throughout the first half of the season I've been getting called for those a lot. So the refs are looking for me to keep my hands in there. So I got to be over-exaggerative, keep my hands out. I'll do that moving forward.
Rick always talks about guarding your yard. What can you guys do better in that way? And when that first breakdown happens, how do you recover and make it not more of a problem?
Well, first step is, just keeping your man in front of you, and if we can do that better, then we won't have to cover for each other as much, and that makes the game way easier.
Is there any reason you're seeing as to why it's happening more? That the guys are getting beaten more often? Is it,
Closeouts. Just making sure you close out correctly to the right guy. Yeah.
Obviously you found the shot tonight, basically. How important was that just to get to see a couple go down, and what do you kind of feel like you got to do to?
Yeah, it's good to see the ball go back to the basket again, and we'll keep working and making sure that we can keep it consistent. So.
I mean, it's good to be back. Haven't played in a while, so good to finally get back on the court and get your feet wet and things like that. But I'm going to continue to work on things and my conditioning, so be better for the guys.
What's your sense of how you fit with this team on the floor and how you fit with these guys in the locker room at this point?
I mean, good. I think I can help them, tremendously, especially defensively. Being on some good defensive teams. I've been pretty much a good defender my whole career, so teaching them things that I've, done great and the things that I've done bad. But at the same time, just trying to, be a vocal leader on this team.
What have your conversations been like with Rick about what your role will be going forward and in this game, things like that?
Mainly just be myself. Be myself, help, mentor these young guys and, learn different things from them, but at the same time, help them learn different things that I've, been successful in my career. But, there's going to be times where I play and there's probably going to be times where I don't. But that doesn't change who I am. We've got to continue to lead these guys and have fun doing it.
What was your first impressions of Tyrese Haliburton?
I've always loved his game. So he's an all-star for a reason, true talent, and only getting better.